Are you in doubt about how to build realistic custom supports for steel coasters, just like this one in PlanCoBySeb? Look no further, as I will show you the techniques I use to custom support my roller coasters. You will learn how to custom support several coaster elements, such as a lift hill, a loop, a dive loop, a zero-G roll, and a corkscrew. The coaster I will custom support in this episode is the B&M floorless coaster from the previous episode. As a bonus, I will also show you how to build a simple yet realistic transfer track for these kinds of roller coasters. Sit back, grab a pen and paper, and follow along as I demonstrate how to build realistic custom supports for steel coasters in PlanCoBySeb. A transfer track is an important feature of modern roller coasters. The first step is to delete the last track piece. I then make a 180-degree turn using the same track length as the piece I just deleted. I repeat these steps so that I have two straight track pieces aligned with the final brake run. Once you delete the surplus parts of the track, you should be left with something that looks like this. Once that is done, I build the supports on which the transfer track will run. In this example, I use beams and rails for the coaster track to rest on. I am shortly adding more details for realism, such as a catwalk, railings, a protective roof, concrete footers, and a layer of asphalt underneath. To make your life easier when building constructions that has repeating features, as in this construction, I recommend you to group items together to be able to duplicate them several times. For those of you who aren't familiar with why transfer tracks is featured in modern roller coasters, I can tell you that they are being used as a transportation for the coaster trains to and from the storage and maintenance space. Depending on the numbers of visitors in the park, the staff can add or remove trains to and from the roller coasters by using the transfer track as a transportation between the storage space and the coaster itself. It is therefore a great idea to add one to your next coaster build in PlanCoBySeb if you aim for realism. Since these concrete footers are gridded items, I click Split from Building to be able to move them freely. Now I'm done with the transfer track. So let's move on and let me show you how I custom support this specific steel coaster. First, I build a steel chute for the chain to run through that is placed under the rail itself. It has to be in the exact correct angle from where it starts at the top to where the chain ends at the bottom of the lift hill. I use beams and create a group to be able to position it correctly. Surplus parts is being deleted. Not all steel coasters has this feature, but as this is a B&M floorless coaster with a pre-drop, the chain will have to run in a chute back to the starting point. I now build custom supports that will be duplicated several times throughout the layout. I group the items together for later use. As I just added the chain chute under the lift hill, the supports has to be shaped like a V to give room for that. I also tilt one of the supports so that it shares the same resting point on the ground as the previous one. This technique can be used if the space underneath the roller coaster is limited or simply due to aesthetic reasons. In places like this, where the chain is close to the track, I had to be creative to make it work. Now on to custom supports of the loop. Remember the support I built and grouped together just a moment ago? It comes in handy now as I use it on the loop. I then alter it to fit at its new location. As the most stress is put on the bottom of the loop, this is the area of the track in which most of the supports are placed. To finish it off, I add 2 more supports in the middle of the loop, where the train is in roughly a 90-degree angle. I then add connectors and concrete footers to give it an extra realistic look. Since a dive loop literally is half a loop, I duplicate the exact same supports as the regular loop and place them accordingly. By copying and pasting, I am able to move on fairly rapidly in the process of custom supporting the coaster. Here is where things are getting a little complicated. As the exit of the dive loop is directly under the track I want to support and the train has to have enough clearance, I have to be creative once again. Moving on to the corkscrews, I will reuse some of the existing supports used earlier. As the same rules applies to both corkscrews and loops, the track needs to be supported at places where the stress on the track is greater, in low areas close to the ground. After some copying and pasting, I then add extra supporting beams to increase the sturdiness of the support. Finally, let me show you how easy it is to custom support a 0G roll. I simply add one diagonal beam and one supporting beam towards the side of which the train will run. I adjust the support for a perfect fit and then repeat the same technique on the opposite side. Now, have you learned something new from watching this episode? Either way, I will of course show you the result and a front row POV of this steel coaster with all its supports and realistic features such as runway lighting, a maintenance road, transfer track and some terrain work. Even though custom supporting your roller coaster can be a pain in the ass sometimes, it is definitely worth it in the end. I can already reveal that next episode of this mini tutorial series will be all about how you can build a realistic station and queue area for your roller coasters in PlanCoBySeb. Or do you have anything else you would want me to cover in a future tutorial? In that case, you already know where to leave your suggestion as I read all your comments. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you for a favor. If you like my content and have been watching several of my videos yet aren't a subscriber, it would mean the world to me if you consider subscribing to my channel for more content just like this, as I have soon reached the milestone of 1000 subscribers. Thank you for your support. Now, sit back and enjoy the POV of this B&M floorless steel coaster. Thank you for watching until the end. Take care.